Is it any surprise when we see a Category 5 come upon the land? But the nations, they had no concept of what this was going to do, did they? What fools! Can you imagine being in New Orleans? And, you know, they always had prophets in the old times. There's always those who could warn of destruction coming. And today the weathermen had their satellites up and had all their information. And they were able to fly their planes, and they were able to say, this is a big hurricane. It had winds of 175 miles an hour when it was just offshore. They knew it was going to slam into the United States. In New Orleans, they closed the highway one direction and turned it around and made it go only out from the city. So all lanes were going only out for evacuation. Everyone in the city was warned, get out. Judgment was coming. 400,000 people left New Orleans. And yet, maybe 100,000 remained. Fools. Fools. We talked about it on the drive-in this morning. Why were those people there? Well, they were poor people. They didn't have the money, and so on and so forth. But I tell you, if my family and I were poor people there, we would have turned around, we would have started walking out of there. And 2 days later, we'd be 40 kilometers further away from that hurricane than we were a day before. Because I know we could walk 20 a day, and we would not be underwater. We might be hungry, we might be thirsty, but we would heed the warning and make no excuse for that calamity to come upon us. You have to be a fool I don't think the leaders had any concept. You know, you see them now getting really blamed for all the poor recovery after this. But they rescued by helicopter 3,000-4,000 people from rooftops. They rescued many from rooftops by boat. They thought they had the resources. Nobody imagined a city of 500,000 people being 80–90% underwater. Come on. Nobody imagined buildings as large as football stadiums being lifted and moved, and everything else around them flattened along the coast. As one of the men interviewed on the subject said, it's like an atom bomb went off just off the coast. And there's more coming. We must heed these warnings ourselves. We must not be foolish. You know, I think when they see the hurricanes that happened last year, they all thought, well, you know what? We survived them. We got through it. But now they want to have a different thought. It was last year that we saw that tsunami that took so many lives in Asia. And now this year, so many lives. At first they thought they might have lost 50, 60 lives. Now they're starting to think maybe it's thousands. They have no idea. And they can't even rescue them. We're told that there would be times when the price of bread would become so high, man couldn't even afford it. It's coming. Gas at $1.34 is nothing. That's nothing. People are caught in New Orleans and they're going, we need food. We need food. 4 days later, they have no food. When this destruction starts coming on the earth in more and more and more frequency, it's going to starve out the people. It's going to drive the price of everything into the sky. Forget oil, forget gas, it's nothing. When you start destroying farmland, when you start seeing destruction come upon crops and animals, there will not be enough to go around. This is coming. How do we know? He already told us. This is no surprise. Jeremiah tells us in chapter 23 and verse 19, Behold, a whirlwind of the Lord is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. In Jeremiah chapter 25 from 31, it says, A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord hath a controversy with the nations. The Lord has an argument with the nations. He will plead with all flesh, and he will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation. Are we seeing that now? Are we seeing evil going forth from nation to nation? And a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. You're going to see whirlwinds going up and down the coast of the earth every year, more and more powerful and more frequency, until the coasts of the earth are battered to rubble. Where are most of the cities of the earth today? They're on the coasts. You know, it's unimaginable what's going to happen. But just take New Orleans and multiply it by 100. And think of the devastation. Can we handle it with all our powers? The greatest, most powerful nation of the earth is still reeling from that one hit. That's nothing compared to what's coming. Nothing. Can the nations handle this? The Lord hath a controversy with the nations. Verse 33, And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, nor gathered, nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. Have you seen on the news? They can't even deal with the dead. They can't do anything about them. They can't even get to the living. And they're left floating in the waters. They're left with a blanket put to the side, and that's it. And that's what's going to happen. It's saying it right here. Can't even deal with the dead. That's how it's going to be. Have we been warned before? Is there going to be any surprises about what's coming? He says, Howl ye shepherds and cry. Who are the shepherds of the nations? The leaders, the presidents, prime ministers, queens and kings. They're going to howl. They don't even know how to lead and how to handle this thing. We see it already.